Zombies, skeletons, spiders, they're fairly normal monster creatures, but slimes? Not so much. They only show up in random underground chunks, or in swamp biomes, but only under very specific conditions. When you fight them, they don't fall apart like other mobs. They divide. That doesn't feel natural, which is why I think Minecraft slimes are actually failed experiments. The story starts with the Illagers. The Illagers have always been obsessed with power, especially avoiding death. They build entire rooms inside woodland mansions centered around strange rituals and relics. Their biggest creation? The Totem of Undying. It doesn't heal. It literally blocks death, but only once. But perhaps that wasn't enough for them. Perhaps they wanted something stronger. Not just a second chance, but permanent survival. True immortality. So they turned to the only ones who might have the skill to make that happen. The witches. Witches are very similar to the Illagers, suggesting that they may have actually once been Illagers themselves, cast out or left by choice. But either way, their knowledge of potions and elixirs went far beyond anything the Illagers had. When approached with the idea of making a potion that could turn anything or anyone immortal, they didn't say no. They saw a challenge and they took it. The witches began testing elixirs that granted regeneration, resistance, anything that could push a body past its limits. They tested on animals, and eventually the experiments worked. The test subjects didn't die when hurt. They split, regrew, reformed, but they also changed. They became translucent, green, mindless. Bodies dissolved into slime, but they stayed alive. And when they were attacked, they divided instead of dying. It was immortality, just not the kind they expected. The Illagers saw it and backed off immediately. They wouldn't risk turning themselves into monsters. The witches tried to stabilize the formula, but the transformation was permanent, irreversible, so they did the only thing that they could. They let the slimes go. But the slimes didn't die out. They migrated. Some settled underground in rare, isolated areas now called slime chunks, possibly even the same areas where the experiments first happened. Others appeared in swamps, especially when the moon matched the conditions of the original testing. And somehow, their bodies turned out useful. Over time, people discovered uses for their slime. It was especially useful in machinery, sticky pistons, redstone contraptions, as if the material was meant to bond, stretch, and react, just like the elixir it came from. Slime survived. They spread. They became a part of the world's background noise, but their behavior never changed. You're not killing them, you're dividing them. One becomes many, over and over. This wasn't just a potion gone wrong. It was an attempt to beat death, an attempt to harness the power of immortality, an elixir meant to keep life going at any cost, and it did just that, in a way. But at the end of the day, it's only a theory, so let me know if you guys think anything different, and as always, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye!